I don't know. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see you. So we don't know how this is going to go. It's in God's hands, as it always is. Joni, marvelous Joni, is without power, and Joni is my wonderful tech angel. So she hasn't got any power, so she's doing it all on her phone. So sometimes we might just have to pause it if things go a bit a bit haywire. Anyway, welcome everybody. This week, I didn't know whether I get a poem at all. I've realized, I mean, of course, these poems, they come through, particularly since I've started doing this group, and I'm so grateful for it. I think I've come to rely that I'll just get one. And for the longest time this week, there didn't seem to be one arising, and I thought, oh dear. I think whatever it is, it's gone, the magic's gone or whatever. And so I just let it go. And then this poem came. Sometimes what happens is it mostly, I suppose, it just arises from whatever arises in me. But sometimes it definitely comes because I'm sparked by something. And last week I was sparked by James. Oh, I knew that had happened. His last name. Anyway, it'll come back to me.
Finley. I went ahead and listened to it. It truly is wonderful. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, Mary.
Not
So
as
that
good
was
as you, but he's wonderful.
his
James
one.
Finley. Yeah, he's good. He's cute.
Thank you. So yeah, that was, an inspiration from that. But this week, it was an inspiration from a Joel Goldsmith, a part of Joel Goldsmith, about 45 minutes in. I mean, the whole thing was wonderful, but it was about spiritual refreshment. And it's because it's very like, I really resonated with it because it's about what I'm always going on about, which is being here now, keeping it as simple as possible, and just constantly dropping thoughts and having little pauses. That's all I ever say, I know. But one of the things that I really felt, I got this 1 o'clock in the morning yesterday, this poem, and it was the fact that of course we know this, but sometimes you can forget that it's not just about dropping thinking. It's not just about that. Um, because if it was just about that, we'd cut off the spiritual side of it. And some people really do make this mistake of they think it's just about dropping thoughts and that's it. Well, that's kind of a way towards it, but it's how you actually feel the spiritual presence, the loving part of that space that's the most important. So this is what this is, what brought this poem. So I think we can't share it this week because I don't want to ask Joni to share it because it's difficult while you're on your phone. So if you'll forgive the way that we're doing. Oh, my goodness, she's done it. I don't believe it. Hang on. Let's just give it a moment. Joni, that's incredible. Well, we can't see it yet. It looks like it's coming. Oh
Is
my
that it?
goodness, you've done it. Wow.
Okay, let's hope it sticks. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So and everybody, if you can't see it or you can see it, don't worry. I'm going to read it out. And then of course I always send it out in the email. So here we go. If everyone's muted, that would be great. Thank you very much. It's called In Constant Communion. What is the secret to constant communion? Aligned with the beloved in divine union? Or how can I live with my mind stayed on God so it doesn't fade as I'm driving, emailing, zooming, or cooking? How can I keep God the point where I'm looking so that He takes center stage no matter with what I'm engaged? The answer is we can't, because it's not within our human powers. as there's 43,200 seconds in every 12 hours. So let's afford ourselves a great relief and lose this mental torture from our belief that we could ever perform such a feat. And so relax and take yourself off the heat. Joel Goldsmith says he takes 10-second breaks at every half an hour for spiritual refreshment and to feel God's power. He looks down at his chest and he says, "The kingdom of God is within me." And that's how he'd pray. I'm just going to read that again because I didn't read it very well. Joel Goldsmith says he'd take 10-second breaks every half an hour for spiritual refreshment and to feel God's power. He'd look down at his chest and say, "The kingdom of God is within me." And that's how he'd pray. Or he might say, "God is there and all is well." Or sometimes simply Emmanuel, which means God with us, and there he'd dwell. Then just for a second, the mind can't rebel. And when you're out in your car, to be a survivor, just think, God is the mind of every driver. Or if you're concerned about meeting new people who aren't your clan, know this: I am always approaching the God in man. There is no place where God is not, in the home or on the street. God is omnipresent, and so in everyone we meet. So don't lose heart or think you're committing a crime if your focus leaves God some of the time. Presence is always there, whether you notice it or not. Even if today you know you've forgotten, instead got totally immersed in the dream, you may not have heard, but you are always seen. And as soon as you remember to take a tiny break, this shows God you are trying to stay awake. Or you can pray extremely quickly, and here is how. Just say one word to yourself, and that is now. Well, do you know, when I was given that poem, I was so relieved. I loved it when he just direct instruction. It's all right, Joni, you can take it down now. Thank you. A direct instruction was, to look up how many seconds there were in an hour. And when it said 43,200 seconds in every 12 hours, I just thought, wow, the way that we've been beating ourselves up all these years to think, I'm going to stay present in every second. And of course, it's just it's not a mortal thing that we can do. So one is that we're all doing the best we can. And if we just do have one word, I know we were talking, and I was also, we were saying, weren't we, last week, that we have things like end or, various other things that I've said as well before. But it's about not just stopping the thinking, it's about contacting that inner communion. So because I'm so into all this, when I heard Joel talk about it, I really loved that he was also talking about, after all the books he's written, he was saying everything that he's ever done, it comes down to what we're discussing here every single week, the simplest thing, the very simplest thing of just finding one word, just one word I always think's best, that can keep you there. And so I started using Emmanuel, which I've never used that before. I've never really related to that. And I've had the most brilliant time since I've been doing that. I mean, it just somehow it bridges the gap to me between now and dropping thoughts and feeling the holiness. But I mean, this just for me, it does. I don't know how you would find it, but I've found it immensely helpful. And like we said before, everybody will have their own word or their own expression. Sometimes it's good to try a new one, like if you know, like for me, Emmanuel. And just it's been like walking in a cloud. So before I finish rabbiting on, sorry. Today I've been for my normal swim. And so I'm in the changing room. I can hear this somebody going, I can hear that whoever it is trying to make the sound like of an electric guitar. And I know that on Mondays, a lot of the people that come to the pool are people that have mental challenges and learning disabilities and that kind of thing. And they come and use the training pool. So I sort of immediately, you know, kind of guessed perhaps it's one of them. And when I came out, there he was. This lovely young man. And I love the fact that people who have some of these mental challenges, they're just there's no preamble like, oh, hello, my name is so and so, may I do, you know what I mean? They're just straight in there. So he says, he looks at me and he says, I've learned a new song, it's really great. He says, I got it off Mason's headphones, like just assuming I would know who Mason is, you know. I said, oh, great. I said, would you sing it to me then? So he said, oh, yes. Would you like to hear it? I said, well, I would. I would. So he said, oh, I love you. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. And it's kind of like, it was just, it was so beautiful. And it wasn't too long. It was just right. And he said, did you like it? And I said, oh, I loved it. I particularly loved the guitar bit, you know. And it was so sweet. They said, oh, thank you for listening. I thought, oh, you know, when I walked away, I just felt, what a privilege, you know. And people that have these kind of challenges, I love the way that there's no preamble, you know, that they're just straight in there. In other words, they're just assuming that everybody's their friend, you know, and it was just lovely. And throughout the entire morning, people were shouting, hello, Mandy, hello, Mandy. And I know it's because I was just Emmanueling and just seeing the light of them all the time. And I found more than I've ever found before since I've had this poem that I am keeping in perpetual prayer, perpetual prayer being just being present, being present, and being present, you see. So I hope that it's of service to you in the way it's been of service to me, because it's just been a gift to me. So if anybody wants to say anything, fine. If you don't, fine. I love you all. I'm so glad you're here. And thank you very, 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 very much for listening. Thank you. I'll shut up now.
Yay, Mandy, that was awesome. Thank you so much. It just a little shot in the in our heart to keep the presence. And then for me, when I listen to this before I go to work, this replay, I get to hear it again. I feel like I was just with you all yesterday. So I think it's just beautiful. I'm not always in the presence, but yesterday I got a chance to talk with my workmate about God, about, you know, just about God. And it was really sweet. So, and then just to feel God, it just all day long it was good. I wasn't conscious of it, but now that I reflect back on it, it was just a lovely day. Thank you so much. These are just powerful. And I'm inviting all my friends.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary. Thank you. Yeah. It's about yeah, I mean it's just what you say, that you can look back and you think, oh my goodness, I have been pretty present actually today, just automatically, like you say. And it's just wonderful that I mean when you are, you just get continual rewards thrown at you, thrown at you, thrown at you all the time, you know. And it just so yeah, yeah. But I just loved it. It really helped me when I measured the seconds. You know? You expect it, you know, we expect too much of ourselves. And when we let that go, then the spirit floods in anyway. Yeah. Oh, Lynn and then Sharon. Yes. Hi, Lynn. Yeah. Go Go
Hey
ahead.
guys, hi Mandy. Wow, I love this. It's so absolutely coincidental, right? Yesterday, Dove was the minister over at Awakening Together, and we read your lovely poem, Is This God Talking? And uh, it just really brought me back to this very same place, is that when my mind is filled with all these thoughts, then I'm not paying attention to anything and not seeing anything as it is. I'm just seeing my thoughts about these things, my perceptions of these things. And excuse me, when I just stop the thinking and just start the experiencing, we've been given this amazing gift of life in an amazing place where we're just surrounded by beautiful angels everywhere we go, and everyone we see, right now, looking at a room full of them here, right here in my little office. But if I were not paying attention to that, and I was thinking about, oh, what I'm going to do this afternoon, or what happened yesterday, or what somebody said to me about this or that or the other thing, I completely forget the experience that I'm having right now, which is really the only experience I'm having. Is there's there's nothing else. Yesterday is not nothing else is here. Just us right here, right now. And that's that beautiful intimacy that we share as just joyful friends is such a gift. And I love you so much. I'm so happy that this is here and that we're here. And anyway, that's really all I had to say. Thank you, Mandy.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. Yeah, you just reminded me of I just was listening to Richard Raw. Do you all know Richard Raw? Yeah,
Yes.
Richard
Yeah.
R-O-H. So he was giving a brand new lecture, and he was sort of saying that this space we're talking about is like if you imagine two cherubs and they're facing each other, but so you are always being surrounded with a cherub on each side. But if you're filling it all, there's no space. But it's something along these lines anyway. So he said the space between the cherubs that are facing each other and upholding you, that is that sacred space that where spirit can get in. It was lovely. It didn't say it exactly like that, but that was kind of the meaning of the idea of, we don't want to block the space between the two cherubs because they are holding up the space for us to have just exactly what you've described, Lynn. So thank you so much. Yeah, I love that. Yes, Sharon, hello.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you, Mandy, so much. And thank you, Joni. I'm assuming your phone is well charged.
Oh yeah, that's a good thought. Hope so.
I do have backup batteries for most things, yes.
Oh,
Oh, I'm impressed. Um, I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you very much again, Joni, for being able to do this. And thank you for the poem, Mandy. It's really, it's good because I've been, I guess I'm just going to say working on being present more and catching myself in that moment to moment thing. Well, what are you doing right now? And that's not meaning that I do that all the time. I'll just kind of catch myself. But your story about the gym, I'm so grateful that you can see these children, because I have one of them, my granddaughter. But she had the parents who were determined that she was not going to be severely impaired. And so they worked hard at it. And in every therapy you can ever imagine. But she will not remember a lot of things. And she'll memorize, but if it's conceptual, she doesn't really remember it. And I used to get kind of frustrated. And then I realized that's the way it should be, or that's what I'm hearing. There's no past. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. And so I just, it's like I don't think of her anymore as challenged. And I did for a long time. And I thought I need to stop thinking of that. And there was a woman in Australia that I think she coined the term neurodiversity.
Yes, that's right. Mainly for people on the autistic spectrum. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I started listening to all, you know, friends and all this, and I thought, hell, we're all neurodiverse. Just forget it. So that was a fun story you told about the kid in the gym, because my granddaughter can get kind of exuberant like that too. And she's 30 something now. So, and she's very talented in her way. She got caught in that that gap that the US had in education, where nothing really, they really didn't get educated. And so it's an amazing thing to me that she can even navigate in the world, because she will tell me, I don't know the meaning of that word. And there's a lot of them. She tells me that. So we talk about the meaning of the word, or we have an experience about it or something, so that it sticks a little better. So it's just been amazing to me that she is who she is with what's going on for her. So anyway, I just felt like I needed to share that, and thank all of you very much.
Well, Sharon, first of all, I just think that's amazing. And it's not that the people so-called mentally challenged are the ones that are challenged. It isn't. It isn't. It's we that are challenged.
Yes.
Because when I, responded to this lovely young man, it wasn't that I was trying to be, oh, good to the person with the, I just loved it. I just was completely enwrapped with it. When I went away, his carer came, and I'm not. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this to say, oh, wasn't I wonderful and wasn't he not? All this is. I'm just illustrating the point that the person that was challenged by it was his carer, who had a face like thunder, did not smile, did not take any notice of the young man, and was just kind of just treated him like, oh, this is my job and these are these weird kids. But to me, he was the weird one, because he couldn't, God bless him, he couldn't respond. His heart and soul wasn't open enough. What somebody so-called challenge does for us is challenge us to be that open, unembarrassed, uninhibited, and to learn from them these things. And that's why it's so crucial to me, and this is my little bugbear, that that people with any kind of, just for the way that the words are used, that any kind of so-called mental handicap, we must have them. We must have more of them. I mean, in different parts of the world, and there's all sorts of ways people are trying to make sure that these births don't happen. And this would be criminal to me, because we learned so much from these people. I learned so much from that young man. I was humbled. I love the way they just talk straight at you without any preamble. My name is so and so, and where do you come from, and blah 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 blah. And I wonder, none of that. It's just so honest. So who's challenged? We are challenged to be more open and like them. So yeah, I loved what you said, Sharon. I loved it. Thank you so much.
I love the way you responded to him, because my granddaughter is kind of like that. It doesn't matter what unhappy thing has been thrown at her, she will turn around, she'll go, hi, Grandma. And it's kind of like, and I have resisted her love. That is the big story here. I have resisted how much love she puts out. And that I have become aware of that over the last few months, really more. And just, come on, Sharon, allow it in, let it in. And little by little, I'm doing better. But I remember her well, she lives in another city. And I said something to her, and she goes, "Yeah, Grandma." And I can just see her face, and she's just like that. So thank you, Mandi, for that story. I really liked it. It helps me to
Yeah.
respond to her
Good.
better and more openly, which is the crux of the matter. So thank you.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Just before I say, bring Linda in, I haven't said hello to Rafi. Hi, Rafi.
Hi, hi.
And Dov. Hi, Dov. Oh, it's so nice to have you here. Sorry, things just got away, didn't they? And sorry about that. Oh, yes, Linda. And Linda and then Lynn. Yes.
Hi. Yeah, thank you, Sharon, for your sharing, and thank you, Mandi, for the poem. And I'm realizing, well, part of the reason I'm here this morning is because I recently was exposed to the telepathy tapes, which is about a study of nonverbal autistic kids. And it's like, yes, they are part of our transformation because we think of them as non-valuable, but they're so precious and they're so honest and they're so wise. And that's how we should be. Yes, we are the ones that are deficit, not them. And that paradigm shift is what's happening. And I'm so excited for our future with this ability of people learning from them to be open and receptive. And I hope that it really takes hold, that people really embrace this and be willing to accept us as we are, because each of us is precious just as we are, and to interact with each other in this authentic way, because that's what they are. They're authentic. And I'm thinking, well, if we're telepathic, there's no way we can lie to each other, because we would know it. Because they not only experience the words, but they have the smells, they have the vision, they have the memory of it's like they were saying, like, if someone describes Christmas, it's not just Christmas, it's the smell of Christmas trees, it's the interactions between family, the joy, this, you hit everything, the whole concept of that experience that they feel that we don't. We have compartmentalized everything. Oh, it's just a word. Oh, it's just a color. Oh, it's just a smell. Oh, it's just a this. Oh, it's just a that. But they have it all. They have it all together in oneness. And for me, that's one of my personal goals, is to experience the holy oneness of all that is, and to share it in whatever way it comes out through me. So I just want to say I'm just so excited to be here, and just so thankful that you're all here with me. Thank you.
Oh, Linda, I love what you said. I love what you said because, as I've said before, I'm on the autistic spectrum as well, and I have synesthesia. So everything that I hear, every single sound is in color, or sometimes I get mixed up. Like I was playing with my band yesterday. Was it yesterday? Saturday, and somebody next to me did a wonderful harmony on a tune that we were doing, and I got my words mixed up. I said, "Oh, I love the smell of that." No, hang on. I love the taste of. No, I love the sound of it. And they all fell about laughing because they know that I have this. And then somebody said, "Oh, it must be nice to be able to taste the music," which made me feel better. But Linda, it's sometimes it can be overwhelming, but a lot of the times it enhances everything. So and I always thought I was completely thick. Do you have that in America? Thick, stupid, and did very poorly at school and all that sort of thing, because I didn't understand the way this was, and people didn't understand the way to receive me. So yeah, so I love every word that you said. Thank you so much. Oh, right, Lynn and then Rafi. What a lovely meeting.
Oh man, no kidding. So Linda, just what you were saying, that was basically what I was going to say. What we've done is we have when a baby is first born, they don't know what anything is, and so they're like alert. I mean, every sound, every smell, everything is there, but they don't know what it is. But as we get older, we begin to narrow our focus. And then we know this is mom and this is food and this is, we start narrowing our focus to where we're only looking at the things that we want to see, and we completely um, exclude the rest of that experience that is our natural experience, because the mind of the human mind is really not capable of holding all of that. The only mind that's capable of holding that is our divine mind, which is the creator of it, and has every connection to every bit of it. And so, what I see as being so very helpful is to work on expanding your focus. Just as you're saying, expand my focus to where I'm alert and aware of my entirety, my entire being, what I am. And that is, I think that is a big part of the experience that a lot of autistic people have, is that they are so open to all of it and haven't narrowed the focus, to even, I have a nephew who's, he's nonverbal. He jumps over, dances around, jumps around, makes noises, and he also is like almost graduating from college with a degree in physics, because he can he can work through a computer, and even though he can't speak, he can't do the normal things. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I think we just don't understand it. That's the only reason that we see it as something out there, is because we just don't understand it. But if we could open up ourselves to really experience what this is, then we would be that brilliant. We wouldn't have to speak. The telepathy is the perfect thing. I send my niece those. He's her grandson, actually. I sent my niece those telepathy tapes. I haven't heard back from her. They are very religious, fundamental, and so she may have not been liking the idea of telepathy, but we'll see. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you for mentioning that, Linda, because that's us. We have that universal one mind, and we can communicate with each other without these clunky words. I mean, they're lovely words. They're beautiful words. They make beautiful poems. They're lovely to listen to, but
There's so
not
much more.
easy to communicate with. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much more.
Anyway, that's all I have to say.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. I'd like these telepathy tapes, so perhaps you could send them to me, because I'm not quite clear what your tapes you're talking about. So perhaps you could send me a link.
It's a podcast on YouTube, so.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's what really awakening is. It's expanding into every other thing. And also, I think that's amazing about the computer, and that he's just, it's honed into that. Why should it be anything else? You know what I mean? Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Lynn. I love that. Rafi, hello.
Hi. Lynn, you're so right about that. God that is the love in me is completely connected to God that is the love in you. I mean, so Lester Levinson said, if you love somebody, you don't have to tell them; they'll know. We're all telepathically connected. If you hate somebody, you don't have to tell them; they'll know. But how we are connected, how we are constantly, lovingly supported. It hit me about 10 minutes ago while people were sharing. My mind right away started coming up with resistance. I don't want to hear. Don't they understand how sacred they are? Come on, what's the matter with these people? And of course, that's total ego. Look how right I am. Look how wrong they are. So I go, yes, resistance. Yes, resistance. I love you, resistance. Yes, resistance. Yes, resistance. And now I choose to let you go. So and then underneath that was wanting control. I want it to be different from the way it is. I want it to be my way. I don't want it to be their way. So I write, yes, wanting control. And I welcome the wanting control. Welcome the wanting control feeling. Yes. And could I let this go? Yes. Would I let go of more wanting control feelings? Yes. Would I let go more? And then, of course, the reality of the Christ consciousness that we all are then was reestablished completely. And it was just a wonderful little, I don't know, it only took about a minute or so, but it was just a perfect example of how divinely guided we are. I mean, if we weren't divinely guided, I would have never seen it. I would have gone along with what the ego was saying. I'm right, they're wrong. And, but just how every single moment is divinely orchestrated for our benefit. Woo! Anyway, thank you for letting me share that.
Nice sharing, Rafi. Nice sharing.
I love that, Rafi. Love it. Love it. Thank you. This is what groups are for. Resistances come up, don't they, at different times and everything, and then we just kind of like lovingly just see that it's all, our resistance, and yeah, it's brilliant. We're all here to rub each other into the smoothest, shiniest pebble, aren't we? We're all the sand. Yes, Sharon.
Well, I just learned a whole lot more from listening to Lynn and Rafi, because what I wanted to say before they said all the wonderful things they did is there's another part to the story with my granddaughter. She got mad at me because I wouldn't accept what she kept telling me. There's something wrong, Grandma. Something's wrong with you, and I can help you. And I would say, I'm fine, because I was not willing to accept a wrongness. That I was, this is a couple years ago, I wasn't really willing to accept a wrongness about me, particularly health-wise. And that's what I perceived she was saying. So she got mad at me, and we didn't talk for a while. And then she came back and said, well, I want to talk. And okay, fine. And it started out the same as before. And I said, listen, we're not getting anywhere. And so I said, we're going to pray. And so what we have done is read from the various books that I have. And I use Mother Mary as my God, if you will. That's where I am right now. And so that's what I've used for her. And so she would tell me stories and things that were happening in the family, and I'd say, we're just going to pray about that. Miracles. Her mother had gotten to a place where she was so frustrated with Chantel, that's her name, my granddaughter's name, that she was short and mean and couldn't, really communicate. Her mother just did a 180. She is so kind to her now. Not everything is, you're my daughter, I will do that for you. And it has just been a great thing. So thanks for listening to me.
How lovely. It's because, when we do that praying, we just let that space in, this sacred space that we've been talking about all the way through, really. It's the only way that it can get in, and it turns everything around. It puts everything right. Yeah, that's so lovely, Sharon. Thank you so much. John. I thought you'd fallen asleep. I thought I'd wake you up. Hi, John.
Well, the truth is I haven't slept since 3 a.m. So I am
No,
a little.
I was saying John, not Dov. But
Oh,
go on.
okay.
No, Dov, go on. You haven't been.
I happen to wake up at 3. I didn't go back to sleep, so I am a little sleepy right now. But that's okay. Actually, Rafi woke me up with his sharing. He says, you know, okay, I got some resistance. I got some. Can I let the resistance go? I woke up.
Oh, this is the perfect place to sleep anyway. Sleeping's fine.
Letting go of resistance is a perfect way to do that, because resistance will make you feel like you are tired.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. I woke up as soon as he did his release method. Really.
Yeah. Wow.
Can I
Wow.
ask for, I see we have 15 minutes left. Are we going to read the poem one more time?
Yeah, yeah, I'll read it again because John hasn't heard it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Have you?
Maybe Lynn?
Well, the thing is, I haven't sent it out. I
Oh,
think
you haven't? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
it's because Joni's working from a phone, so it hasn't actually. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I understand.
I'll read it, but thank you anyway, and thank you, Lynn. It would have been a pleasure. I'll just read it. I'll read it out.
I was gonna real quick say to Dove, welcome to the 3 a.m. club.
Oh, thank you, Joni. But I'll just read it now. So it's called In Constant Communion. And where's John? Is John still? Yeah, John. Yeah, no, it's just John that I was saying that before. What was that a lot of the poems before, they've been a lot about stopping thinking and everything. And this one, while it's about the same thing, it's kind of more about how not just stopping thinking, but you're really bringing in the presence of God, that you're noticing that in these pauses of being quiet, that it's not just that you're being quiet, but that you can sort of feel the sacredness as well. So that's really what this poem is about. Here we go. What is this? What is the secret to constant communion, aligned with the beloved in divine union? Or how can I live with my mind stayed on God so that it doesn't fade as I'm driving, emailing, zooming, or cooking? How can I keep God the point where I'm looking so that He takes center stage no matter with what I'm engaged? The answer is we can't, because it's not within our human powers, as there's 43,200 seconds in every 12 hours. So let's afford ourselves a great relief and lose this mental torture from our belief that we could ever perform such a feat. And so relax and take yourself off the heat. Joel Goldsmith says he'd take 10-second breaks every half an hour for spiritual refreshment and to feel God's power. He'd look down at his chest and say, "The kingdom of God is within me." And that's how he'd pray. Or he might say, "God is there and all is well." Or sometimes simply, "Emmanuel," which means God with us, and there he'd dwell. Then just for a second, the mind can't rebel. And when you're out in your car to be a survivor, just think God is the mind of every driver. Or if you're concerned about meeting new people who aren't your clan, know this: I am always approaching the God in man. There is no place where God is not, in the home or on the street. God is omnipresent, and so in everyone we meet. So don't lose heart or think you're committing a crime if your focus leaves God some of the time. Presence is always there, whether you notice it or not. Even if today you totally forgot and instead got immersed in the dream, you may not have heard, but you are always seen. And as soon as you remember to take a tiny break, this shows God you are trying to stay awake. Or you can pray extremely quickly, and here is how. You just say one word to yourself, and that is now. So we can just have a now moment. Thank you. That wasn't really a now moment, because a now moment is just, that's all it takes. But that was a bit of a meditation moment.
Mandi, that was over the top. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a thank you so much, Mandi.
Oh, well, thank
Oh
you.
God.
I was just saying, John, at the beginning that you know, that I I didn't know what it was going to be about, and it was me sort of ha had so much to do this weekend. I was playing a lot of music with people, and I was kind of really using the word Emmanuel a lot after I'd heard this particular broadcast by Joel, who suggested that. And I thought I'd never used Emmanuel as a, you know, a thought stopping word before. And I loved the way that it brought in not just the piece of not thinking, but the sacredness of the moment as well. Those two things together, the space and the sacredness. And then I was given that direction by spirit to measure how many seconds there were in 12 hours. And when it said 43,200, it made me laugh and use that word, Rafi, cute. And I thought, oh, how cute that you think that you can be present for 43,200 seconds every day. And it was just saying, and Jesus was just there saying, oh, let it go, you know. And as soon as you let it go, what are you? You're present, you know. That's it, you know. So that's kind of where that poem, how it evolved, really. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mandi. Oh God.
Thank you. Mm.
I love the part about you brought in Joel in it as well. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, sometimes I just get inspired. Sometimes it just comes, yeah, I suppose mostly it just comes from what's given to me, but sometimes it comes expressively from something I've just been listening to or or yeah, listening to, and something will just stand out. And I thought that one piece, there's so much to, you know, when you listen to these highly wonderful teachers, there's so much to unpack. You know, we might listen straight through or in pieces to a 2-hour broadcast, but when you just unpack just one little part, oh, there's just so much in it. There might be just one sentence that's made you think, oh my goodness, and really wake up. And so that in itself makes me want to write a whole poem about that one little part, you know.
wow. Yeah, you're jumping on the bandwagon. I know what you mean because I'm going through the thunder of silence right now, and
Oh wow,
it's a gobstopper, you know, like
Thunderous Silence is amazing. Yeah, yeah. Well, I just want to thank Joni again. Are you there, Joni? Hello, Joni.
Yes, power came on, so it played games with the internet. So I'm here.
Oh, well, no, I just want to thank you because, like we've all said, I just can't imagine. I just would not have been able to do all this on my phone. So,
Well,
I
it
thank
was a
you.
learning opportunity. We have no problems. So
Oh, that's great. But I'll just need to, when we've finished recording, I'll just need to have a chat with you at the end because I need
sure.
to tweak something else on and then we need to just check it out. So I think I'm just going to thank everybody for coming, and we can stop recording now. Just say goodbye to everybody, and I just love you all.